Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to show you something that I came across and that I altered. So this is what we're going to be making today. This is a dashboard. However, it's a dashboard and a folder, as you can see. So it's laminated, and then you can do your sticky notes or whatever you'd like, but you also have a folder. I was all over online today, and this is the best one that I have found, and then I laminate it so that way it works as a dashboard and it works as a folder instead of just your normal dashboard where it's just laminated and you don't have any pockets. This one you actually have pockets with. So that's what we're going to cover today. I will say that this was actually by SS Crafter 1, the original design, and then I altered it to make it to what it is. So we're going to take one sheet of double-sided, and it doesn't have to be cardstock, which I think is what I love about this so much. Because I am going to laminate it, it doesn't need to be cardstock. So just decide which version or which way you would like your paper to go. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to score at 1 3/4. So 1 3/4. Then you're going to score it at 5 3/4. Again at 6. Again at 6 1/4. And then you're also going to score it again at 10 1/4. Then you're going to turn it. I call it turn it to the left. And then you're going to score it at 8 1/4. Now this is for your regular size Midori. So once you have all your score lines, then what I like to do is I will then cut it. Now you can scissor it, cut it with your scissors, but I prefer to actually cut it with something like this because it gets it a little bit more cleaner than what I can do with my scissors. So there's your 3 pieces. So now you have your 2 sides, your bottom flaps, and then your center piece. Again, I really liked this version because it allowed for more tucking, where when you tuck it into a normal folder, being in the United States, we get only this 4-inch right here. So having this flap on the side with these is really going to help that. So now all you have to do is take your bone folder, and first I like to go ahead and cut these as well, since these are going to be your fold ups. So I just eyeball it and kind of cut it to the diagonal, and then I take this one and I cut it from the diagonal up. And it doesn't matter to me that they're not even, because of the fact that you're not ever going to see that anyway. So I just keep that in mind, that it doesn't really bother me if it's not even. So there you have it. There's your basic layout. So now you want to take and fold everything on your score lines. So then what I like to do is I like to take it from here, and depending on how much you want to cut off, I do like to leave a nice gap really here, because that just gives me the ability to just add more stuff to it and make sure that it's secured. So I kind of just line it up right there and then score it across, and then this piece is going to fold back in. And then on this side, it's really hard to do that with both sides. So what you can do is instead, you can take this as your main line, and that's what you're going to roll it up underneath and get it to line up. And then you also want this part to line up. So see how I just kind of use my finger to pull that up, get them pretty close to even. And we'll roll that one down just a teeny bit more. And then now we have that. So I did cut into it a little bit, so it tore, but that's okay. And then you want to go ahead and fold on the other score lines that you made. And then we're going to flip it around and do this score line. Now, the reason, even though we are going to laminate this, you want to go ahead and do these score lines is so that they're very defined. So that way when it is laminated, you do have that extra little space. So because we are laminating this, I will go ahead and use my Project Life corner rounder and round all of these corners before I go any further. So I'll just make sure you get it lined up really good. I've done that a couple times and it gets a little off. So you just need to make sure that it's lined up really well. Some people don't like to do the bottoms because it leaves holes, but because I am laminating these, it doesn't really matter for me because it's going to get sealed with the lamination. And then make sure you're folded in the center and not on one of your score lines, your extra score lines. And then that can fit right in. And then same thing with this one, just make sure it's nice and flat. And go ahead and do it that one as well. So this is what you have. So now all you have to do is tape this part to these flaps. So we're going to do that next. I use just a regular Tombow permanent adhesive. So first I will go ahead and do these little flaps right here. Like so, and like so. And then to measure from this part so I don't end up doing too much, what I'll do, and before you actually do this part, what you'll need to do is take a marker . Then we're ready to go ahead and tape it. One of the things that you do want to make sure of is, see right here where my fold is? I'm not too happy with this. It's still just a little close for my comfort. So I'm just going to go ahead and take just a little bit more off of this one. And probably a little bit more off of this one as well. So that way, I just give myself just a teeny bit of room when it comes to that edge. So it makes it a little bit easier and you don't have to worry about things getting stuck or hung or, you know, caught on that pocket side. And this is actually really thin paper. Some of the other paper I used wasn't exactly this thin. This is really thin, but it'll be okay since I will throw it through the laminator. Okay, so then what I do is I turn it upside down like this, and then I take my tape runner or glue, whatever you prefer, and I kind of eyeball where I'm going to be, so I don't want to go past that because I don't want to tape anything else. And then just fold that right on top. And then same thing on this side. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it and then just pull down my tape runner. This is permanent. You can use something else, but I did want the nice permanent edge on here. So that's what your folder looks like. If you're using cardstock, this would be good. It would be ready to go. It'll fit in your Midori just perfectly, minus a 1/4 inch. So you got a 1/4 inch gap, and then this gusset allows for expansion. So as you can see here. And the great thing about this is all you're using is one 12 by 12 piece of paper. So what you do now is you run that through the laminator. Once you get it out of the laminator, it looks like this. So now it's time to trim it up. I did actually measure a 1/4 inch all the way around on one of the ones I did, but it really didn't matter. So now I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to trim that almost to the edge of where you get the bubble pocket from where it's sealed. So not exactly side here. And you're leaving yourself a gap from where the pocket was from the lamination. You can leave yourself up to a 1/4 inch gap the way that I altered the directions. So you can give yourself a nice little gap there if you want. I just kind of follow it around pretty close for the most part and then round the corners. as best you can, of course. And then just make sure in the middle too that you get that one as well, where we rounded the corners on the edge, so that way it'll fit into the Midori a little bit better. And then I grab the scoreboard, and then I just score it again, just to make sure that it's going to crease, because it is lamination. So just give it a nice score at the 6, the 6 1/4, and then the 5 1/4, or 5 3/4, excuse me. And then all you have to do from here, X-Acto knife of some kind, and just follow this edge. So you're just cutting this edge really nice and smooth. You don't have to press too hard. You don't want to cut through both layers. You're just cutting that lamination piece. And then you can come in underneath here and raise it up so it's a nice line, and do that on either side. And then again, just get yourself a nice little line there. And then you'll want to do it at the top too, because you still want this part at the top, so that way you can go all the way across. So, and then there you have it. And now all you have to do is fold it. So I like to fold it in half first. Again, give it a nice clean edge. And then give yourself that gusset with those other 2 score lines that we did. And here. And then here. Like so. And now you have a nice pocket. So again, you know, your regular dashboard is just a dashboard, but this one allows, oops, I got too many of that one. Put it around this one. Let's see. There we go. So we'll just take this and we'll slip it into the back of our book and our band, like so. And then when it's closed, this one is the one we just did. So you can see the color of my book through it, because I gave it that gap, that 1/4 inch, which allowed me to have that extra part for the lamination, so it didn't stick out, which I like better, because now when I wrap it, it doesn't stick out when I wrap it. So this has got a lot in it, but so I don't have any interference here. So again, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you joining me, and you have a great day.